The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 8 knee-jerk stream. Game Week 7 has just finished. The Brentford-Man City match, pretty boring, especially that second half. I mean, Brentford did do a lot better. In fact, it wasn't completely boring. Brentford did have some chances, but Man City kind of just, I wouldn't say gave up. They just ran out of ideas. Anyway, we're going to discuss what happened in Game Week 7. We're going to have a quick look, or an early look ahead of Game Week 8. Apparently, Bukayo Saka is first choice penalty taker at Arsenal. Who would have known? Erling Haaland is human. He only scored 8 points this week. And Bruno Fernandes is never going to score a goal again. But what's new? Hey, what's new? We'll answer your questions and all that good stuff. I scored without chips 65 points. And it's a red arrow. So I've gone from about 386k to 540k. With no chips in play, that's probably okay. My big at the back strategy this week did not really work. Most of my players blanked. Haaland captain points don't really mean too much. Semenyo is owned by everybody. It was nice that I bought Gabriel in because he got a 9-pointer. But him, Raya, Semenyo and Haaland were my only returns. Yorkresh blank, Evanilson blank, Reinders blank, Fernandes blank, Lacroix blank, Senesi blank, Van Dijk blank. So not that great overall. But I still feel kind of okay about my team. As always, there's a little bit of overreaction at the weekend. By tomorrow, by Tuesday, I'll be feeling pretty good. Bruno Fernandes in particular Bruno Fernandes and Reinders actually came so close to scoring. If you haven't already watched the highlights from the Man United Sunderland game, go and look at that save from Royce. Or Roofs. I think is it Roofs? Royce? I should double check how you say that name because we're going to be saying it quite a lot this season. The fingertip save to deny Bruno a goal. Super frustrating. And Reinders, really good save from Kelleher to deny him as well. So could have been a few more points, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What's a good score this week? Anything above the average? I think the average is like 73. No, I don't know if that's the average. I think the average is a bit lower than that, like 70 or 65 or something. I might actually be way off. Oh no, the average is way lower. I think I saw someone say the safety score is about 70 odd earlier. Yeah, the average is really low. 37. That can't be right. 37 points. That hasn't updated, I would say, after today's games. 181k. You're all playing for second place this year. Nice. 38 months, by the way. Thank you very much. 181k. Excellent. Foden has been... The thing is, right, I'll tell you now, I know the theme of this stream already because I know which players people are frustrated of. I reckon my general opinion of all the players you hate in your team right now is you should probably just hold them for another week. Maybe not Bruno because he's got Liverpool. Maybe not Salah if you don't have Haaland. But most people, probably you should just keep. Like, Foden's frustrating, but you know what? He's played back-to-back 90 minutes. The minutes look really good. It's Everton at home next week. What's the rush to get rid of him? Reinders has blanked again. I mean, he's got 3 attacking returns this season. He cost less than 6 million. What are you expecting in 7 game weeks? He's fine. You know, that forward you hate, that forward in your team right now that you absolutely hate and you want to get rid of, if you sell him, you're probably buying another really bad forward. You know, Jared Bowen's got good fixtures now, I get it. Voltemada took a penalty with Gordon off the pitch, so he might not be bad. But honestly, most forwards are just not very good at all. Like Yorkresh, super frustrating. Who do I sell him to? Watkins? No. João Pedro? Maybe, but probably not in one move. I've got Evanilson. He hasn't done anything for weeks. Richarlison didn't start. Calvert-Lewin blanked. Like, Mateta blank. I mean, Mateta should have scored. He missed an open goal, basically. I mean, it wasn't a complete open goal because there was a defender on the line, but there was enough space for him to score pretty easily. It would have been a SAKA assist as well. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of players you should probably just not panic too much about. Mateta to Voltemada, no chance I would do that. If anything, I'd be looking to buy Mateta soon, maybe game week 10. Like game week 10 feels like a nice jump on point for Crystal Palace players. Would Yorkresh to SAKA make sense? If you got 2 free transfers, I don't hate it. I will say this, right, about the Yorkresh, SAKA and all the penalty situation. Obviously, as I tweeted earlier, got to take the L on the penalty situation because I thought Yorkresh might get them. I did say on the deadline stream, you know, it could be SAKA. But I thought it would be Yorkresh. Got that wrong. Saka spoke about the penalty yesterday. He said, when I grabbed the ball, I wanted to take it. So that was my thoughts at the moment. He was then asked if he's staying on penalties. He said, we'll keep our conversations in the house for now, or in-house for now. I won't say much more. I still think, and maybe it's just pure copium as a Yorkresh owner, that there is a chance he will take the next penalty. I think there's a chance. I don't... All I will say is Saka is first choice. And by the looks of it, Saka decides. So he is first choice. But I don't think he's Salah levels of first choice. Like if Liverpool get a penalty and Salah's on the pitch, there is no chance anyone else is taking that penalty. I don't think that's the case with Arsenal. If Saka's feeling generous, he might just give it to Yorkresh. So I don't think it's... Like, next time Arsenal get a penalty, I wouldn't put all my money on Saka. But it's clear that he's first choice. So I think if you want to sell Yorkresh, it's fine. But I would do it as a swap to Saka or if you need money. Because otherwise, who are you selling him to? Like, Yorkresh to Voltemade is fine, but it's not much more than fine. You know? This doesn't feel worth a transfer. So my basic plan with most of my team is to wait until I got a few transfers, then maybe do something interesting. But until that point, I'm just going to roll, I think. So disappointed to have the choice to transfer in Yorkresh or Saka and went the wrong way just because I wanted to bench boost at 8. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, Saka hasn't done anything from open play. He's just got a penalty, right? Which is part of the reason people bought him. I get it. It's part of the reason I've got Bruno, Haaland, etc. But you know, maybe Yorkresh outscores him next week. Maybe that is just completely delusional. I don't know. Gordon at least game week 7, the worst of the bunch. Sarr, Kudus, and Jai, even Saka. Yeah, Gordon's minutes. I said this. By the way, I thought Gordon would get enough minutes and be on penalties, etc. But he did get subbed on the 66th minute last game. Like, Newcastle were just managing players quite a lot. I still, if you've got Gordon now, you just hold him, right? I don't think there's really too much there. I mean, yeah, you can say Njai, but Njai got a penalty. Otherwise, he wasn't... I mean, he was a little bit unlucky not to get an assist, actually. So he was okay in the end. But I think if you'd watched that, I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee this, I bet at half-time of the Palace-Everton game, everyone was eyeing up Tarkowski to Munoz and Njai to Sarr. I bet everybody was eyeing that up. And I guarantee you now, pretty much everyone eyeing up that Njai move is now keeping him. Not the greatest weekend. Yeah, it feels like it was let's get the cliche out, shall we? It feels like it was an okay week to have a bad week. I don't know if people would have dropped in rank too much. Yeah, Newcastle got a penalty, but Gordon was off the pitch. I mean, that's why we like 90-minute men, right? That's why, that's why everyone says it's so lucky when you get a penalty in the 90th minute. But if you picked a player that always plays 90 minutes, is that luck? Maybe. 59 points, 3 free transfers, probably going to bench his game week 8. Very nice. What would you do with Watkins? Roll or sell? I might sell Watkins because of the fixtures. But honestly, what is it? Like Spurs away this week? It's not the worst thing to keep him. Like, if I was selling Watkins, who to? Mateta or João Pedro? Probably. But the funny thing is, like, João Pedro owners are super frustrated with him, right? It feels like a weird time to say buy him, but the fixtures are good. Bruno, Yorkresh, and Jai to Saka, Mateta, Enzo. I mean, it's fine, I guess, for 3 free transfers. I don't know if you're necessarily getting massive upgrades there. I mean, Mateta plays Arsenal away in game week 9. Would you consider Yorkresh, Fernandes to Saka and João Pedro? Yeah. I think that's okay. I think it's okay. But again, it's fine. I think most people's transfers this week are fine, but nothing more than that. Not like I don't think your question Fernandes to João Pedro and Saka is like super obvious. I think it's also more than okay to do if you want to do it. Holding on to money to get Palmer back in, is that smart? I'm really not convinced Palmer's going to be an option until after game week 9. I guess here's the thing to ask yourself if you're leaving an option open to Palmer. You're not going to buy him in game week 8, I don't think. Because the chance of Maresca saying he's now fully fit and he's recovered from this groin issue is super low. So you're probably not going to want to jump straight into him. You're going to want to see a match first. What do you need to see in game week 8 to buy Palmer in game week 9? A full 90 minutes, maybe? So I think it's okay to leave money in the bank or a transfer route to Palmer. I'm doing the same, by the way. I really want to roll in game week 8. Then I've got 2 moves if I want to get Palmer in game week 9. But I wouldn't... Like, if you've got a really good move that's going to net you some points in the short term, I wouldn't worry too much about Palmer, I guess. That's what I would say. Are you definitely sticking with rolling, or does it depend on the break? Well, obviously, if some of my players get injured, then we'll talk. But I don't really see too much reason to move. I mean, I wish Bruno Fernandes wasn't playing Liverpool this week. But I just... Basically, the long and the short of it is with my team, I don't particularly like many one transfer moves. I want a roll. I need 2 or 3 transfers to do something interesting for my team. So, like, if I sell Bruno Fernandes, which midfielder would I buy? Bearing in mind I can't buy Saka because I've already got 3 Arsenal. So to get Saka, I would have to take a hit. I'm not going to do that. So it's got to be someone at Fernandes' price or below, basically. And whoever you say, I'm just not going to be interested in doing it in a one transfer move. And also the problem is the fixtures afterwards for Man United aren't too bad. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Foden. I've got no interest in Man City attackers really, outside of Haaland and I guess Reinders because he's cheap. I'll just never be comfortable with Foden's minutes no matter how many 90 minutes he plays. So I just won't go there. What do I think I'd do next game week if I had multiple transfers? Okay, so if I had 2, I reckon I'd roll still. If I had 3, maybe I would consider Fernandes and Gyökeres out. But who 2? João Pedro and Saka maybe? Yeah, maybe I'd do that João Pedro Saka move. When to wildcard if you still had it? Game week 8 or game week 13 probably for most people. Taking into account fixture swings. Liverpool is a fine fixture for Bruno. No, it's not. It's really not. The thing is, this is stats and eye test are really conflicting, I think, for Liverpool. Because if you watch the Chelsea game, especially towards the end, right, they had a lot of chances, right? You think Liverpool defence wasn't great. They only conceded 1 XG. So since I got Van Dijk in game week 4, 0.13, 0.7 and 1 XG is 3 of the 4 matches. It's only that Palace game where they got absolutely battered, really. And the Bournemouth game wasn't great in game week 1. But I get it, right? You watch Liverpool and you think they're just so open all the time. The stat's not quite there, so maybe Van Dijk comes okay. So I've got Van Dijk up against Bruno. Let's see what happens. Game week 8 seems like the move for wildcards. Yeah, a lot of people will use it this week, I think. Vardiol might be nailed. I mean, Man City players are always nailed until they're not. Look at Doku. Newcastle with yet another clean sheet. Burn grabbing bonus again. Well, Burn got an assist, right? That helped with bonus. Yeah, Burn's fine if you've got a defender you need to sell. I think we had this conversation for game week 7. Like, I'd be more than happy with Burn in my squad, but I just don't have a defender I want to sell. But if you do, then you could definitely look at him. And also, the expected goals conceded by Newcastle defence so far this season have been really good. Donnarumma going to 5.7 million tonight seems unnecessary. He almost gave a goal away to Brentford. Well, not really gave it away, but he got a shot, a clearance or like a kick out blocked by Sharda. Gyökeres is actually nailed. I mean, yeah, yes, it seems so without Havertz there, basically. I did think his minutes would be pretty good over those 3 games. So this game week, the previous game week, and the Champions League in between. I think I said that I expect his minutes to be as good as Saka's, if not slightly better. And in the end, Gyökeres' minutes were better, but it didn't matter because Saka got the penalty and the rest in midweek. But yeah, 390. This is the thing with Gyökeres, right? Everyone's frustrated because he's not getting returns. Completely understandable. Even more frustrated because he's not taking the penalty at a time where his minutes actually look quite good. So it's why I'm saying if you want to sell him, it's fine. Honestly, I'm going to say fine so much in this stream. I apologise already. But I don't think you should be looking at your team and Gyökeres is like a major problem. I really don't think that's what he is. Like the next 4 fixtures are not bad. It is 3 away games in the next 4, which is not great. But Arsenal attack is getting better, honestly. Maybe the chances will just never fall to Gyökeres, but he did almost score against West Ham. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying buy Gyökeres. In fact, I probably wouldn't do that right now. But if you've got him, you should probably just hold him for now. Would you go Timber if you can't afford Gabriel? Yeah, Timber's attacking numbers look pretty good, honestly. Like Gabriel, Timber, Raya, triple up might be quite nice. Your question, away XG is 0. Yeah, I know, but like then you look at the fixtures, right? You got to put context around it. Man United away, Liverpool away, Newcastle away. And I know Man United are not great, but it was his first game in the Premier League, etc., etc., etc. He only played 59 minutes. And again, it sounds like just making excuses for Yorker. I really, you know, I don't think he's like this amazing option, but keeping him is also okay. Why did Timber's minutes look good? What do you mean, why? He's first choice, right? Please tell me about Doku what to do. I mean, you should probably just sell him at some point. He's not guaranteed to start most weeks. Yeah, Newcastle defence is pretty good, or it has been so far. So you could definitely look at them. But I mean, how many people actually have a defender they need to sell right now? Why was Stack subbed around 60 minutes? Just tactical, I think. Is Semenyo a must-have? Like, I'm glad I own Semenyo because I can say this without people thinking like I'm really bitter, like they do anytime I say it about a player I don't own. Taking, like, case in point, Chris Wood last season. Semenyo has overperformed. Like, he has. He's a good FPL pick still because he's got the minutes. He's got no Europe. He's on penalties when Kluivert's not on the pitch, and Kluivert didn't start again yesterday. But he has overperformed, right? He's got 9 attacking returns from 4 XGI. It's not going to continue at this level, and his price is getting very high. So I think if you want to back against him, it's okay, but he's still a good pick, I would say, for 7.9 million. Just because of all the things I just said. Why on earth are you benching Evan Nilsson? Why am I benching the guy that's like basically taking no shots and has scored 1 goal all season? I mean, for me, it's basically Senesi or Evan Nilsson. Do I go for the DEFCON guy or do I go for the attacker? I'm not quite sure, to be honest. But I'll see. I put out a poll before the Fulham-Bournemouth game for game week 7. And I said, who would you start, Senesi or Evan Nilsson? And Senesi won a landslide. Saw Semenyo spent all summer working on his finishing. Yeah, I'm always a little bit skeptical when players come out and say stuff like that, because presumably they're always working on like general football stuff, right? Like at the end of the day, he hasn't suddenly become an amazing finisher. Maybe he has improved, but he's still not going to return at the level he has been, right? Well, you say you've got to back the attacker, but do you this season? We have defensive contributions now. You won't continue like this. Famous last words. Well, I mean, look at Chris Wood now. I mean, it took about a season for that to come true. I know you want Sheshko. Not really. Why wildcard in 13? We have 5 free transfers for AFCON. Just because of fixture swings. Otherwise, just use it now. Is Salah washed? Probably not. Shout out Marlon, 5.1 million. Yeah, nice brace, but you're just not going to guarantee he's going to start every week, right? Too much level-headedness here, not enough knee-jerk. I know, I'm sorry. I do all my overreactions during the games, and after that I kind of chill out a little bit. Start Anderson versus Arsenal or Esteve? Well, you definitely start Esteve, right? Because of the fixture. That's a no-brainer, I think. Is Doku a major discussion point? Not sure about that. I'm thinking of a wildcard after game week 16 and rolling those 5 forever. Yeah, that could also work, by the way. That's also not... But yeah, you don't have to use it by 13. You could just save it until late. Yeah, I don't hate that. Is triple Arsenal defence too risky? Why is it a risk to buy players from the best defence in the league? And by the way, I think at this point, it's best defence by quite a margin. No way you vice captain Bruno versus Liverpool. Relax, like it's the international break. I haven't changed my vice captain. Hopefully I'll get some time to change my vice captain in the next 11 or 12 days. Otherwise, yeah, maybe I will vice captain Bruno against Liverpool. I mean, to be fair, in my team, there's not really a great vice captain anyway. Yorkeresh, maybe? Semenyo, I suppose most people would go for. Do you think Eze and Saka is a good idea? I'm still not that... Well, okay, actually, let me rephrase that. Odegaard's picked up an injury. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for, but if he's out for a little while, then Eze becomes interesting. Otherwise, I'm still not completely convinced by him, but his minutes are getting better and better. When do you plan on using free hit? Honest answer is I've got no idea. if I move to a Salah Haaland draft before game week 11, then I might free hit in game week 11, but I really think that's unlikely to happen. Otherwise, with this team, I probably free hit in a week where Salah's got a good fixture, so Forest at home in 12 or Sunderland at home in 14. Or maybe, if my team works really well for the next few weeks and I don't need many transfers and I save loads up, maybe I do a Haaland-Salah switch and then just free hit at some point. I don't know. I really don't know right now. And to be honest, I'm essentially making all my plans without a free hit week in mind. So I'm just leaving my options open. There is still a chance we get like a blank or a double in the first half of the season. Very unlikely, by the way, but it's still possible. Yeah, people say you don't need Salah anymore. I mean, look at Haaland. Was he actually that good today? Like, things can change back. It could get to the point where Salah is needed. Like, the idea of writing him off is strange, I think. Yes, he's not done that well recently. He's not looking as good as last season. But I mean, he was never going to be as good as last season. Like, never in a million years was he going to get anywhere close to breaking the record again. It doesn't mean he can't still be a good option for captaincy and stuff. But yes, right now, Haaland only seems pretty straight. Has Bruno got 3 extra? No, I mean, he got defensive contributions taken off him, by the way. He was on 11 and he dropped down to 9. Who are the best 5 players in the game right now? I mean, you could argue it's Gabriel and Timber as the 2 defenders. Then Haaland. I don't even know who the other... Semenyo, I guess. And then one more. Maybe Saka if we want to go full overreaction after the weekend. Probably not Saka, though. Semenyo, Gabriel, Timber, Haaland. I don't know. And then a 5th player. Take your pick. Haaland was good. It's just there wasn't as many chances. Yeah, that's what I mean. He really didn't have that many chances at all outside of the goal. Do you know if you wildcard 16, do you still get the AFCON transfers? Presumably you do. Because Senesi, not a bad shout. Because as soon as it ticks over from 15 into 16, you'll have 5 transfers, right? So if you then wildcard, you had 5 when you wildcarded, so you'll have 5 the week after. But obviously, then you're taking punts on wildcard because you'd want to use at least... You're taking at least 1 punt on wildcard because you'd want to use a transfer in game week 17. Caicedo, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having Caicedo as a top 5 player. Get out of it. He's not going to keep scoring at this rate. Yes, it was a great goal against Liverpool. Come on. I think the idea of transferring players around that cost less than 6 million is just feels like such a waste of a transfer for me. Like, if you've got Caicedo, fair enough, you stick with him, but bring him in. This can't continue. I'm going to keep saying that about everyone. It cannot continue. Saar makes top 5, maybe. He's fine, yeah. I'm not saying Caicedo's a bad pick, because obviously he's got the DEFCONs, but he's not going to keep scoring, and that's why people want him. No one's saying... No one's going, oh, look at Caicedo. Yeah, okay, he scored. That's not going to continue, but look at the DEFCONs. I need him. Right, you want to buy him because he keeps scoring. And that's not going to keep happening. It's just I was doing some planning on fixture planners. When you get 17, you didn't get the... Yeah, well, FPL will actually give them. Maybe they just haven't coded that yet on the planners. Is a City defender a good transfer in? Not bad. It'd have to be Vardy, I think. He's got the goal threat. I said he was the new Chris Wood. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Reinders to Caicedo, I think that's just such an overreaction of a transfer. Should I get Van Dijk out for a 4.5? If you want, if you need the money. If you need the money for someone else. Yeah, not being top 5 doesn't mean they're a bad pick, obviously. Havertz expected back mid-October. Does that affect your thinking? I think with your crash, it's just wait and see, right? You don't need to overreact to... Sorry, not overreact. You don't need to plan when to sell your crash right now until Havertz is actually back training properly and in the squad. Once that happens, yeah, I would definitely be more worried about your crash. Havertz will get minutes up front when he's fit. How does it feel knowing over 4,000 people are listening and watching you? Could you talk like this on a stage, do you think? No. No, I don't think so. Not on my own, anyway. That'd be way more nerve-wracking. It's easy doing this because I can't see anyone. I'm not looking at how many people are watching. And obviously I've done it lots and I'm just sat in an office on my own, so it's a lot easier. Do it on a stage in front of 4,000 people. No, thank you. Reinders is a season-long hold if he keeps getting 75 plus. I don't know if I agree with that, and the only reason I don't agree with it is because he takes up a midfield spot, and often midfield spots are quite precious. So it might not be that at some point I want to sell him. I don't think I would sell him because I think he's a bad pick. I would sell him because there's 5 other midfielders I might want instead. But yeah, in general, I kind of agree that like he's blanked 2 games in a row now. People want to sell it. Like just I don't really get it, to be honest. It's Everton at home next. It's not a terrible fixture. I said it feels like that time N'Golo Kante spent years being the best CDM in the league, then randomly had one season playing further forward and actually being pretty good. But I don't think Caicedo is actually playing that further forward, right? And his attacking numbers haven't like massively improved. He just happens to have scored a few goals. Dewsbury Hall goes way before Reinders does. I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest with you. I mean, Dewsbury Hall's numbers are better so far, right? I mean, apart from the fact he keeps getting yellow cards. Dewsbury Hall is running at 0.3 expected goal involvement, which I think is the same as Reinders. The only thing with Dewsbury Hall is you've got absolutely zero concerns. 0.22 for Reinders. You've got zero concerns about the minutes of Dewsbury Hall. He's just 90-minute week in, week out. So I don't necessarily agree that Reinders is better. I mean, I'd maybe agree that they're equal. But I don't think you can say that Dewsbury Hall goes way before Reinders. His numbers so far have been better, and the minutes are better as well. And there is no chance of Dewsbury Hall getting benched, in my opinion, when he's fit and available and not suspended. But yes, either way, so you say you wouldn't have 5 premium midfielders. You're right, but would you say that Minter is better than Reinders and Dewsbury Hall? I think you could argue that. So you got Minter. Let's say people want to get SAKA in now. Semenyo. Bruno Fernandes, can't sell him up. No, I'm joking. Relax. You might want Sarr. You know, Sarr's not that much more money than Reinders, for example. Is what, like 0.8, 0.9 million? So, like Sarr, could you have a midfield of SAKA, Sarr, Minter, Semenyo, and then one more? And if people are going to start reducing the amount of money in their attack, they're going to have more money to spend. So I think there is a world where I don't have Reinders or Dewsbury Hall. But all these things require lots of transfers. So I need to roll. Dewsbury Hall and Grealish won't be available next week versus City. Dewsbury Hall will be back next week. Grealish can't play because he's on loan. Am I doing content over the break? There'll be some, yeah, but not like a huge amount, I would say. There won't be like content every single day, that's for sure. Do I have a green screen? No, my wall behind me is just painted with like squiggly lines and it's light blue. That's just what the wall in my office looks like. Is Bruno and Tarkowski to Saka and Richards good? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, yeah. Honestly, I think for most people, just sell Bruno Fernandes because it will just help your sanity. You know, I said someone in my YouTube members Discord, you know, every week when Fernandes blanks, they come in and they make a comment about it. Like when Bruno blanks, people are so much more frustrated than when any other player blanks. So like if you own him and that is you, just sell him. Like it's good to just play FPL with your sanity intact. So just get rid of him, honestly. Because if another player blanks, it's like that. You know that meme of Gordon Ramsay. You know the there, darling, and whatever the other one says. That's what it's like. Someone blanks in your team. It's like, oh, there. You're still. And if Bruno blanks, it's like, get out. Look, it does feel like last season. It's like what could have been with Bruno. He's missed 2 penalties. You know, he's had a really good shot saved by a really good save by the Sunderland keeper. He's close to 3 more goals, and then we're not even having this conversation. But the fact is, he hasn't scored those 3 goals, so it's frustrating. So get rid of him, honestly. Just like I said this to people when people were wildcarding him in. I said, you'll get frustrated with him straight away. You will. Saka's comment about the penalty seemed very sour. I haven't actually seen him say it. I've only seen the tweet, so I don't know how sour it was. I thought it was okay. I love how you sold it to everybody that your question the penalty. I mean, I had an opinion. The opinion was wrong. What do you want me to do? Like, honestly, the tweets that came out yesterday about Saka penalty and how much nonsense it was that I cannot wait till the next one. It's going to be so funny if Gyökeres takes it. Everyone's going to have to delete their tweets. Yeah, that Gordon Ramsay meme is absolutely perfect, honestly. Someone blanks, like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Fixtures after Liverpool for Bruno are great. Exactly. So is there a rush to get rid of him? You said it, not me. You said it, not me. Right. So the fixtures are Brighton at home, Forest away, Spurs away, Everton at home. Palace away's tough. West Ham at home, good. Wolves away. Also, you know what's going to happen over Christmas? Bruno's going to play every single minute of every single game. Thoughts on Voltemada? Looking pretty good, to be honest. Probably one of the better forwards right now. I don't think he's so good that, again, I feel like I say this about every player, so I'm just going to apologise. It must be quite boring, but just how I feel about FPL right now. Doesn't feel like there's anything major you need to do. You know, I wouldn't be going out of my way to buy him. Like, you don't have to rush him in, but he does look like one of the better forward options. His minutes, he started every game now, since game week 4. 64, 83, 66, 90 minutes. So the minutes are kind of good. The fixtures are kind of good. When Gordon's not on the pitch, he's going to be next in line for penalties. And he's less than 7.5. So I really, yeah. If I was looking at a forward right now, I'd probably be looking between Mateta and Voltemada, I think. Actually, do you know what? I don't know if I'd buy Voltemada before João Pedro. I really don't know if I would. Because João Pedro's got the international break off. So he's going to play game week 8. It's a good fixture against Forest away. And then he's suspended for the Champions League, so he's going to start Sunderland at home as well. I think I would buy João Pedro right now if I was buying a new forward. Yeah, Jared Bowen you could look at as well. Jared Bowen as well. Not a bad shout. Yeah, so I'm pushing Voltemada to 3rd or 4th pick, maybe. Would I buy Voltemada ahead of Bowen? It's close. It's close between the two. I spoke about Gyökeres quite a bit already. Did I ever make a best man speech? No. I think I would. I think I would find that quite nerve wracking. I think it would depend on the audience and stuff. Like I had to do a speech for my own wedding, obviously, but that's a little bit different because you know everyone, and I practice it a lot, so I don't think I was too bad. I did remove. I had a joke in for the start. I had to remove it. I wasn't confident enough to tell the joke. Let's just say half the room was Irish, half the room was English, and I had a joke which I tested on a few people, and they all thought it was quite good, but I was too nervous to say it actually in the room on the day. João Pedro has 0 shots in his last 6 games, all competitions, also managing a small injury. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, look, João Pedro's not a number 9, really. But the fixtures are still pretty good. Do I have social anxiety? I don't know, maybe a little bit. But I think there's a difference between, like, not being a little bit introverted and then also not wanting to make a speech, right? It's quite a bit different. I think a lot of people struggle with speeches and stuff because it's all on you, right? Everyone's looking at you. No, I'm not going to tell the joke on stream. It wasn't even that bad, honestly. Would you go early if you had 3 transfers? Maybe if you're like 100% sure what moves you want to make, but probably not. I'd rather just wait and see. Best Xavi Simon's replacement. I would probably just keep him. But either Semenyo, Sarr. Sarr is probably where I would go right now. Sarr would be right up there. When's Alisson expected back? He's out for game week 8, I think, and then we'll see after that. Like, David Ornstein said he's going to be pretty much out until, like, game week 12-ish, but Slot didn't confirm that. Not telling that joke reflects your FPL management style. Yeah, that's me. I can only be me, right? Can't be anyone else. I would still buy Gabriel over Timber, but I think Timber's a really nice shout. Just looks better and better every week. I just think that if either of them are gonna miss games, I think it's more likely it's Timber than Gabriel. What about Isak on wildcard for game week 8? I'm still not convinced by that pick because of the money. I'm really not. He's got no penalties. He's not going to play 90 minutes week in, week out. And look, you don't need every player to play 90 minutes week in, week out. But for 10.6 million or whatever price it is, I feel like I can't. No, they haven't. Ange is not gone already. You're lying. That can't have happened already. No, you're winding me up. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Someone's got me there, I think. Someone just said Forest have sacked Ange, but I don't see it anywhere, so I don't think that's true. It can't be that far off coming, though, honestly. Really can't. Hopefully he's still there when someone in my team's playing him soon. Yeah, I have to block that guy now. Fair enough. Hopefully it was worth it, you know. He's going to be holding talks. Yeah, but like that's normal, right? He's done a 007. Thoughts on Mateta as an asset? X-Mins can go down. That's a good point, yeah. Nketiah back now, so Mateta's also probably not a 90-minute man, but I still like him as an option. The thing is, you know, apart from Bowen, Voltemana's not necessarily a 90-minute man guarantee because of Champions League, neither is Mateta because of Europe. João Pedro, if he's carrying this small knock, might not forever play 90s every week, you know? So I think Mateta on pens and clearly first choice I quite like. If your plan is to wildcard, can you wildcard early to catch any price rise? Yes. Have 3 free transfers, nothing in the bank. Should I wait until the end of the international break for making transfers? What to do with Foden, Bruno, Richarlison, João Pedro, move them on? Yeah, I would wait if you can for info. Because all it takes is one player injury and all of a sudden you might want to make different moves. Foden, I would keep. It's Everton at home. Bruno is sellable because it's Liverpool, but the fixtures are okay afterwards. Richarlison, I think, has to go. Longer term. You just can't rely on his minutes. And João Pedro I would keep. Am I considering SAKA for next game week? No, but mostly because I'm on 3 Arsenal already, so it would take a hit to get him in. Would you wildcard? Use bench boost and triple captain? Sells, Dubravka. I mean, Sells, yeah, it'd probably be worth getting rid of him. Porro's going to start the majority of games, but obviously there are slight concerns about his minutes. Senesi, Gabriel, Van Dijk are all good. Konza's not great. On wildcard, you'd probably sell Van Dijk, though. Bruno, Semenyo, Enzo, Reinders, they're all good. But again, on wildcard, I expect you would sell Bruno. Papa Sarr's got to go, I think, longer term. I don't think he's a great pick. Haaland, Mateta, Wood's probably got to go as well. You could wildcard that, I think. I don't think it's like essential that you do it, but also you've got to ask yourself what are you saving it for as well. I think there's enough there that I would probably change. I want to bring in Gabriel, but for who? My defenders are Van Dijk, Joachim Andersen, Lacroix, Munoz, and Senesi. Oh, God. See, this is difficult. Out of those, the way Liverpool look like they're defending right now, it probably should be Van Dijk, but it feels wrong to sell him now. Like Man United at home is not a terrible fixture for him. Brentford away, Villa at home straight after. It's okay. And long term, I think you want him. I think Van Dijk's in that weird position where no one's probably looking to buy him right now, but I'm not sure you should sell him. So then it's Joachim Andersen, Lacroix, Munoz, Senesi. I think you sell Joachim Andersen on Lacroix. I think Lacroix is still good. If you've got Munoz is quite a hard sell because he's just scored a goal. We know how attacking he can be. If you could really, I'd be tempted by Joachim Andersen and keep the double up on Palace. But Joachim Andersen long term is a pretty good pick. Postecoglou expects talk with the Forest owner. Yeah, he basically said he's kind of normal for that. Like, so I don't think it's a problem. The Quarter Burn is a no-brainer. There's no chance I'm doing that. No chance. I still got faith in Lacroix. The defensive contributions are okay. After the Arsenal game, the fixtures are pretty good for Palace. Like Brentford at home, Brighton at home, Wolves away, Man United at home, Burnley away. Europe's the only thing that worries me a little bit because they don't rotate that much. So will it be a problem for them to keep hold of leads, etc.? I mean, Lacroix was... I can't believe what Lacroix did, honestly, for that penalty, but it happens. Who gets more points next week? O'Reilly or Paquetá? I'm going to say Paquetá. I think he's looking like quite a nice option for the next few weeks. 21 months, by the way, Kai. Thank you very much. Liverpool are due a draw to end the losing streak. Due a draw. Why is nothing being said about Strand Larsen? What do you want to say? Is Gabriel, Timber and Calafiori triple up too risky with minutes or swap on with Raya for safety? Yeah, I don't know if I would... Yeah. The thing is, Timber and Calafiori could miss out on the same game because they both got rested in Champions League. So at some point, maybe that happens in the Premier League. The only thing is, this might not be how it happens, but I just think at the moment, if Arteta's going to rotate them, it's going to be midweek. So that's going to be Champions League. The time where it might become a problem is game week 14, which is quite a way away, obviously. But Arsenal have got Brentford at home in a midweek. So maybe they get rotated then as well. Honestly, Arsenal are, pole position now. Premier League is going to be the focus. I don't know. Maybe it's not fair to say it's going to be the focus over Champions League, but I just think in the group stages of the Champions League, it's very difficult for Arsenal not to, at a minimum, get into the playoffs, right? In the Champions League. So if Arteta has to bench them, it's going to be in the Champions League, I think. Now, he might not bench them both at the same time, right? He might bench Timber in the Champions League, Calafiori next Premier League match, whatever. I don't know what I'm going with this. I think it's a little bit risky, basically. I think I'd rather go for Raya instead of Calafiori, but I don't hate that triple up at all if you're willing to risk it. But your other two defenders better be absolutely nailed and start every single game. Thinking of doing Elliot Anderson to Stack and Mbeumo to Gordon, 2 free transfers. I don't really like the Mbeumo to Gordon move. I don't think I like the Anderson to Stack move either. In fact, why are you doing Anderson to Stack? Because of Burnley. I think that's a waste of a transfer. Stack's fine, but he's not worth a transfer. Mbeumo's obviously got Liverpool, so it's not great, but the fixtures are okay afterwards. Gordon's on penalties, of course, but I think I would roll that if it was me, or do Mbeumo to Gordon. I wouldn't be selling Anderson for Stack. Would you play a Stev over Senesi this week? It's Leeds at home for Burnley, right? They're not away. Leeds to the away team. Yeah. So I'd be tempted. The thing is, Senesi's so good for defense contributions, but surely Palace score. So I'd play a Stev, I think. Thanks for the buying Timber to bench a Stev advice on Friday. You're a legend. Any love for Sheshko? Not to be knee-jerking, but really like the finish this weekend. Let me be clear about Man United. It was Sunderland at home. Now, I know when I put my free hit video, or my free hit section in the game week preview, and I had 3 Man United players against Sunderland, I got a lot of grief for that. Even though Burma got a return, Delic got the clean sheet, a lot of grief. It was Sunderland at home, right? So I've got no interest in Sheshko because I don't trust Man United to be good at any point. Like, Brentford did so well against Man United. Look at Brentford today, especially in that first half. They were awful. Man United, they lost to them. And pretty convincingly as well. So I wouldn't be knee-jerk. That is knee-jerking, I think, to get Sheshko. Again, I don't mind it because I feel like there's not many amazing forwards, but I would buy João Pedro, Voltemada, Bowen, etc. before I bought Sheshko. It was only Sunderland. And I know, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, right? Sunderland fans are going to think I hate them. I know how well you started the season. You are going to be stronger than the likes of Southampton, etc. last year. But by the end of the season, we'll look back and Sunderland at home will still be one of the best fixtures on paper. So I wouldn't rush into Man United players. If you've already got them, there is absolutely reason to keep them. And versus using a transfer, etc. But I wouldn't buy them. Am I excited about... is it Lemons, by the way? Is that how you pronounce it? I should really know that. He looked good on crosses. I found it quite funny that when he would come out and catch a cross, the fans would cheer. It was almost like a bigger cheer for him catching the ball than for the actual goals. Look, the bar is low for Man United goalkeepers. Let's see how he does next week against Liverpool. Being a content creator is easy. You just tell everyone their team is fine. But I do think generally people don't need to make as many transfers as they think. No, I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of bias there because of what my plan is for my team, which is basically to try and roll the transfer over the next few weeks and get to... Lemens, I don't know how you say it. I should really check. I'm trying to get to game week 10 with 3 free transfers because I just feel like that week I might want Palace players, for example. And there's not really a huge amount of fixture swings over the next few weeks apart from Chelsea. And I'm just not convinced I'm going to need Palmer. So maybe that's why I'm saying like most people's teams are fine because I just don't think they probably need to overreact or anything. That's all. You're waiting to hear a real knee-jerk move. You got the wrong stream. Maybe I've got the wrong stream title. Lemens. Okay. Lemons. That was bad. Okay. I'll take another L on that. Lemons. That's good. He hates being called Lemons. He gets bitter about it. Nice. Good joke. Would you wildcard this? Sales? Yeah, probably. Sales, Dubravka, Porro, Anderson, Munoz, Reinders, Saka, Bruno, Paquetá. Oof. Haaland, Gyökeres, Van der Ven. I don't know if that needs a wildcard. What are you going to change? Sales? Estev to a different form, but Estev's all right this week. I think your team's okay. I'm trying to think who do you even need in right now? Like Arsenal defender? Yeah, Arsenal defenders possibly. You've already got Saka and Gyökeres. You could just get one, right? Like, could you do Sales to Ray or Porro to Gabriel or Porro to Timber? You said that Timber and California are minutes risk from Gameweek 1, and I listened to you, never bought them. Should have bought them and then sell them later. Yeah, never listened to me. Never listened to me. I think I said their minutes are not as good as Gabriel and Saliba, and so far their minutes haven't over the whole season, all competitions, their minutes haven't been as good. Just so happens they got benched in the Champions League instead of Premier League, you know. Although Gabriel did get benched against Port Vale, I think, so maybe he's a minutes risk too. Activated free hit because of Forest assets. I'm done. Fair enough. -4 now. Konza to Gabriel and Gakpo to Paquetá. Wildcard 13. It's fine, I guess, but I don't think you need to be taking -4s when you got a wildcard in hand. By the way, thank you very much for the super chats. I find it so funny that you use a super chat to tell me you should never have listened to me right after a super chat asking me for the Elliot Anderson to stack and Burmo to Gordon. Just don't. I've told you that I wouldn't sell those two players. If you're not going to listen to me, you should sell them both, honestly. Your Chris is absolutely not on penalties. Yeah. You're being disrespectful. Look at the league table. Typical Man United fan. Have you ever played football? Oh, God, have you ever played football? I love when people say that as if they're like professional footballers. They're running around in League 1, League 2. Sell Reinders to Caicedo. No. Best next game week for free hit. I'm not sure. Honestly, let's play it by ear a little bit. Thoughts about Fernandez, Gyökeres, Tarkowski. The funny thing is about that, you know, you're being disrespectful to a typical Man United fan. Let's see whether Sunderland or Man United finish higher in the table come the end of the season, right? Come back to me then. As a content creator, how do you deal with the trolling and hate? Some pathetic people out there. I just tend to block and mute people a lot, to be honest. It's like, I don't really like to talk about it too much. It's quite a negative thing, but yeah, they most of the stuff people say they wouldn't say to you if they met you. I'd just rather not listen to it. And the great thing is now I use Twitter quite a lot. If you mute someone now, they never show up in your replies. So as soon as someone says like, as soon as someone mentions Bruno Fernandes obsession, like or something like that, if someone replied to a tweet nothing about Bruno earlier, and I didn't even mention it, and then they mentioned him in the replies, I just mute them. It's just someone I don't want to listen to, you know, going forward. So that's how I cope with it, and try not to worry about it. Sunderland versus Man United, really how the mighty have fallen. Hey, look, I know what type of team Man United are. Any chance of a WoW stream during the international break? I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe. Will I make a video on Wildcard Game Week 18? Probably. And yeah, I do try. I do sometimes think that. I just like. Sometimes I think it doesn't matter how much I don't like someone's content. At no point in my life, at no point in my entire life have I thought, I'm going to troll that person or I'm going to send them abuse. Like I just would never do that. So I always like try and think how bad do things have to be where that's something you do with your time. So that's why I try and not worry about it too much. I think you can't have a lot going on if you spend all your time like just trolling and abusing people. There's no one else. Maybe people don't think that because they're not like getting like abuse and troll, but I always think that. I think like, what would have to be happening in my life where that's something I want to do? Do you know what I do if there's someone I don't want to watch? I just don't watch them. Like that's about it really. Anyway, let's get back onto FPL. Will Minter get DEFCON points? I don't know if he got 12 today. Yeah. Is Chalobah to Gabriel a good swap? Probably yes. Although it's not the greatest time to sell a Chelsea defender. Thoughts on triple trolling? It's great. The amount of questions people ask, should they move from one 5.5 mid to another? Yeah, I just don't like those kind of transfers. Because I keep telling you Minte. Oh, come on. I'm never... I try and get used to saying that. Start Sarr or Bruno next week. Probably Sarr. I think if you're ever going to bench Bruno, it's against Liverpool away, right? Opinion on Lee's defender for next week. Pretty good, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to bring one in. But if you've got him, you can play him, right? Thoughts on triple Arsenal, Saka, Gabriel and Yorkeresh? Yeah, pretty good. I think I prefer double defence and one attacker, but there's nothing wrong with whichever way around you want to do it. What are you thinking? Evan Nielsen away from home, would you play him? It depends what your other options are. I think I'll end up playing Evan Nielsen ahead of Senesi, but I don't know right now. I don't know. If you had 4 free transfers, would you go Anderson to Cullen? Probably not. Would you do Wirtz to Saka or Nico Williams to Gabriel? I think I would get rid of Wirtz first, because you can play 3 other defenders probably, right? I'm still holding Salah, but think he's not much worse than Haaland in the next few weeks. Am I thinking about this incorrectly? On paper, you could be right. Honestly, I think the next 3 fixtures for Liverpool are quite comparable to City. In fact, here's the thing for you, right? If you had the choice, let's say you've got Erling Haaland and you can choose the next 3 fixtures, and your choices are Man United at home, Brentford away, Villa at home. So Man United at home, Brentford away, Villa at home. Or Everton at home, Villa away, Bournemouth at home. Which 3 do you choose? I think you take the first set. I think you take Liverpool's fixtures. Just about right. It's not like there's a massive discrepancy in how good the fixtures are. Don't get me wrong. But I think Liverpool's fixtures are better than Man City's. Now, right now, Haaland's doing a lot better than Salah is, so you'd still back him for sure. My point is that Salah might be okay the next 3 weeks. I wouldn't be completely shocked if he gets close to Haaland, for example. So if you've already got him and Haaland, I'd probably be tempted to keep. I think with Salah, basically, if you've got him in your team along with Haaland, so if you're on a Haaland-Salah draft, the longer you leave Salah in your team, the harder and harder it's going to get to sell him because the fixtures get better, basically. It's about 4 more than fixtures. Yeah, sure, until a player scores and then it's the fixtures, right? Who's winning the title? Arsenal, I think. Who's on my watch list for the next few weeks? Palmer. And not many other players, really. But there's lots of players I would like in my team. Like Sarr, for example. Maybe Saka. Palmer if he's fully fit. João Pedro possibly. But none I'm like massively concerned about, I would say. Or I feel like I've got to force them in. Shrewsbury Hall to Xhaka, no chance. Man United is such an unreal opportunity for Salah and Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, if people are writing off Salah, they've obviously never seen Salah play against Man United before. Did you see that Hatto jumped on Palmer and he grabbed his groin? Yeah, that groin problem is not going away anytime soon, I don't think. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so maybe it will clear up over the international break, but I don't think so. Man City are winning the league? I doubt it. I doubt it. But you never know. Any thoughts on bringing in a Palace attacker? If yes, which one? Yeah, Mateta or Sarr, honestly. I think it depends who you need to sell. You need to sell a forward, go Mateta. You need to sell a midfielder, go Sarr. Simple as that. Did you watch the Man United game? Did you watch the Man United Sunderland game? Was Sunderland any good? Sunderland were pretty good at times, yeah. Like, I must admit, I started watching the match first, maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. I can't quite remember. And I thought Man United was playing quite bad here. But after a while, Man United were probably the better team overall. And weren't massively troubled. But Sunderland are definitely a strong, newly promoted team, that's for sure. They're probably not going to get relegated, although we'll have to wait and see. So I don't think Wolves and West Ham, etc., will end up being as bad as people thought at the start of the season. You'd hang on to Chalobah then. I mean, if he's your only route to Gabriel, I'd rather have Gabriel, put it that way. But you are selling Chelsea defender before the fixtures get quite good. But also, Chelsea have got a lot of defensive injuries, so I guess maybe keep an eye on that as well. Wouldn't you rather have Evan Nielsen versus Palace rather than Van Dijk versus United? I'm not sure. I would. Van Dijk, good chance of a clean sheet, I would say. Or potential chance of a clean sheet. Goal threat, etc. Defensive contributions he's done all right with. I think I will end up playing Evan Nielsen, but I think I'll end up playing him instead of Senesi, I think. Who as a choice has baffled you? Anybody considered since game? I'm baffled that I ever thought about going for Wirtz, to be honest. What's your honest opinion on Amorim? I really like the guy. every time I see him do an interview, I think he speaks really well. He stays positive, etc. He's not trying to blame anyone else. I like him. I'm not convinced I like him long term as Man United manager, but I'm willing to give him a bit more time, I guess. I just, again, it was Sunderland at home. Like in pre-season, if you'd ask people what one of the best fixtures you're going to have all season is, it's that. So still hasn't won back-to-back league games. Lost to Brentford the week before. Probably only beat Chelsea because of the red card. Nearly balls that up as well. And I don't think it's all his fault. I get it, but it's been quite a while now and things are not looking better. Do I play Champions League fantasy football? I've got a team, yeah. Have you started watching GAA since you're moving to Ireland? I have not, I'm afraid. Yeah, Bruno in midfield, I hate it. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Sunderland at home has papered over the cracks. Liverpool next week will show the true colours as to where we are. Exactly. It's like I was chatting to someone after the Chelsea game, and I did say, to be fair, before the red card, I thought Man United were playing well. The problem is that was only like 4 minutes or something, right? And I said the problem is now you've got to go to Brentford and Sunderland to win. And what do we do when we lost to Brentford? It's always the same rubbish. Bruno Fernandes generated a decent amount of XGI. He did indeed, but no one cares about that. His shot got saved, therefore he's got to go. Game week 8, Watkins to Strand Larson. Game week 9, Gakpo to Saka, yay or nay? In theory, yes. I'm always a little bit wary of, like, I'd almost rather roll the transfer and then do both moves in game week 9. I know Strand Larson's got a good fixture this week, right? It's Sunderland away, so maybe it's not a good fixture. But on paper, it's not a bad fixture, let's say. So I don't hate it. I don't necessarily, unless it's like a huge improvement, I'd rather roll the transfer and do it in 2. Reason being that if something happens, you might want to make another move. I don't know if Watkins to Strand Larson is enough of an upgrade for 1 week. Like some other piece of information might come up by game week 9. But if you're absolutely sure that's what you want to do, then I think it's fine. Because if you're going to buy Strand Larson, you might as well buy him before Sunderland away. Do I like Fontaine's DC? I don't think I dislike them. Like when their songs come on, although I'm not sure I could tell you right now what any of their songs are called. I know they sing very much in their accent. New here, please explain how to play free hit. You just click free hit at the top. Just click play free hit and then start making transfers. Basically. And then you get that team for 1 week only, then your team reverts to previous team. Are you ever transferring Kudus Porro out if you had them? Porro, yes. Kudus, maybe, but he's going to continue to tick over and the minutes are good. Why no interest in the GA? I just don't really watch many other sports, to be honest, apart from football. It's not that I dislike GA, I just don't watch it. In the same way I don't dislike rugby, I just don't watch it. Have I ever been to Leitrim? I don't think so, but maybe I've been through it. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Okay, I don't know who to downgrade Bruno to. Well, if you're not sure, maybe you just keep him. Already have Saka, Semenyo, Sarr. Maybe a punt on Eze as I've got 2 Arsenal. Maybe someone cheaper like Minte. Minte, maybe. GA is Gaelic football in Ireland. Will Gyökeres ever start scoring? I mean, he's already scored 3 goals. He kind of already has started scoring. Will he continue to score? That's a little bit different. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, I think. Thank you very much for joining me on this lovely Sunday after a massive red arrow, or a little bit of a red arrow. International break now, so try and relax a little bit. Don't panic too much about all your moves and stuff like that. Things might change. All it takes is 1 injury, and all of a sudden you're making a completely different move. So unless you're going to make an early transfer, I would just forget about FPL for a few days, like a week or so, and just come back to it sometime early next week. Either way, I hope you enjoy your break. Thanks for joining me tonight. Make sure to give the stream a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you again soon.